Hey boys, did you miss me much? I'm sure you did. Come on, admit it. No, I haven't disappeared yet. I'm still around. Now, I heard something about a week ago that's been bugging me, and I think I need to express myself a little bit more again, address this to get it off my chest. But before I do so, a couple of things to clarify. Now, I've been telling you since I started all these videos that I'm trying to explain what's going on at Tower Hamlets Badminton Club and the kind of problems that our community is facing in Tower Hamlets. And that I'm trying to change things. You know, this does not get me much, but if everybody, and I've told you, I'm not going to go through everything again. There are so many other people that they've mistreated in this way, and if everybody just runs away from all of this, nothing ever changes. Okay. Now, hopefully, I've been giving you a clear explanation of what's been going on at the club, and that you're getting a great picture, and that you're understanding that this is the sort of problem that you see quite frequently within Tower Hamlets. We're going to change things. Okay. So, before I begin, let me tell you a little story. When I was about 16 or 17, um, there was a little dispute between my family and another family in Bangladesh over a tiny piece of land. Now, this piece of land was about 1.5 meters wide by however long it was. And the people living next to it, they wanted to build a house. My father didn't want to sell it because, you know, this had sentimental values. He inherited it from his father. You know, my father and my uncles, they had tiny pieces of land scattered in that area. He didn't want to give it away, or he didn't want to sell it. And the other family decided that they were going to force their way onto the land and just build on it. So there was some gathering, some fighting, casualties on both sides. Now, I want you to just think about that situation for a little while as to who's right, who's wrong, etc. And I'll explain something in a while. Now, thankfully, this dispute did not actually go to the courts, but when it does, many other situations like that does. And when it does, you get the lawyers, the police, the judges thinking, hey, you know, this is great, cash cows. So they all just take whatever time they need and keep asking for more and more money. And so many people have lost so much money over such situations. Now, what am I trying to explain here? Hopefully I can explain in a minute, so just hold that thought. Now, at Tower Hamlets Badminton Club, I only asked for a couple of things. I asked for a constitution so that members' rights are understood and that we have proper elections where people within the, you know, everybody within the club, the members decide who should lead the club. I asked for the kids to be given the opportunity to come and play at that place, because that's the whole reason why the council actually provided the place to them. And of course, I asked for the current management to step down, because they lied to people, they lied to me, they mistreated people, they violated people's rights when it came to elections, they've misused funding, misused the facility, so many things. Now, they have no idea, they have no feeling that they've done anything wrong. And for someone like me who decided to speak out, and they can't say anything more than that. I've spoken out. Yes, I've decided to speak out outside the club because there was no point talking to these guys behind closed doors. You know, these guys have been swimming in their own shit for so long that they're finding it very difficult to get out of it, and they cannot. And I made the mistake of trying to convince them for the last 10, 15 years that, you know, they should change their ways. They know very well that I have been trying to do exactly that. But they won't change. So when people won't change, you need to take appropriate action to help others and deal with them. These guys, they're not going to change. There's no question about that. Now, when you hear what I've heard about a week ago, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So, instead of apologizing, doing the right thing, bringing in the constitution, and stepping down, apparently they're going around telling people that the reason I started talking about all of these things is because they did not give me a coaching job. Now, I don't have to explain whether they had the money and, you know, whether they were actually truly looking for a coach to pay. It's pathetic. You'd have to go and see my previous videos to understand that. But they're also saying that they're getting all the videos together and they're going to take me to court. Now, these guys have a lot of money, there's no question, but they've got very little brains and courage to go with all of that. Okay? Because I asked them many times, if you think I'm lying, be a man, come onto these videos, say something in writing, say this guy's lying, and then I'll see if I can substantiate any of what I've said so far. Because I did not come out here and start talking about all of these outside the club without some understanding of how these guys behave. And as to all the other guys who people might ask, there are very few of them who has the balls to actually speak up like I am doing right now, or indeed have the understanding to think that speaking is one of the important things of life. If you've got a problem, if you've got something you want to explain, if you've got something you want to do, you speak. Whether it's stupid, whether it's clever, and whether it's mad, you just say something, okay? Learn to speak. You do not punish people for speaking. You do try and tell them how wrong they might be. And if somebody is constantly saying the same sort of thing, then there are different ways of dealing with it. But in this case, I'm asking, have I lied? Yeah, I'm asking them questions and they need to answer those questions. There are plenty of people in the club who can explain all that. So anyway, that's what they're saying. Now, sometimes people just don't see it, Obviously, these guys have no idea what I'm talking about. They have no understanding that what they've been doing is wrong. Just to explain the story I was telling you earlier, just to give you a view of how I saw the situation, how I look at things in life. I told my father at the time when the disputes occurred, like, this is only 1.5 meter land. We've come away from over there. We don't really need this land. These people who want to build their house, they can get a bigger house. Why don't you just give it to them? It's only land after all. But my father did not want to sell it. He had sentimental feelings, and for whatever reason, he decided not to sell it. But the other guys, they did not have the right to just come and say, look, you're not going to sell it to me, I'm just going to take it. Okay? How does it work? How do people actually feel about these things? These guys, they have no understanding. They can't feel that they've got it wrong. They just don't understand it. And that's why they're saying all these silly things and making things worse for themselves and, making things bad for me as well. So, if you're going to take me to court, you better figure out what it is you want to achieve. Because I don't think I've committed a crime. This is probably about defamation. You're probably talking about, your reputation and thinking this guy's damaging our reputation. So I ask you this. How much is your reputation worth? £1? £10? Okay, maybe even £1,000. All right, give you £1,000 for your reputation. Now, tell me that you will step down, and I will donate that £1,000. I'll double it, and I will donate it to the Donkeys Trust because I think they deserve it more. Donkeys have never had it easy in their life. People mistreat them all the time throughout the world, and they've been helping humanity, but they've never had it easy. You guys had it easier than them. But if you want to take me to court, I'll see you over there. Now, these guys are not going to give up their ways. It's clear now. And I hope they understand that I did not start out on all this so that I just give up without things changing. Now, I have one more thing I need to do before I say I've tried my best, And if that doesn't work, that's probably it. Bear with me a couple of days.